Captain Lee Minho stood on the bridge of the Handbox Pride, watching the dead stars through the main screen. His ship moved slowly through the empty space between systems. They had been searching for 3 weeks now, looking for anything the Vorthok Empire might have left behind. The Vorthok had been gone for 50 years. Everyone in the galaxy knew their story. They were the most feared warriors anyone had ever seen. Their empire stretched across 100 worlds until they suddenly vanished. No one knew why they disappeared. Some said they destroyed themselves in a great war. Others believed they simply left for unknown space. Captain called Communications Officer Choi Hoon from her station. "I'm picking up something strange." Minho walked over to her console. The screen showed waves of energy coming from somewhere ahead of them. "What kind of energy?" "It's not natural, sir. The patterns look artificial, like a distress signal, but very old." Engineer Park Ji-ho looked up from his workstation. This could be a Vorthok facility. The energy signature matches their technology. Minho felt his heart beat faster. Finding a Vorthok site would be the discovery of a lifetime. The human government had sent his ship to search for Vorthok ruins, hoping to learn their secrets. Most search teams found nothing but empty space. "Set course for the energy source," Minho ordered. "And wake up Dr. Kim. If this is really Vorthok, we'll need our science team ready." The ship changed direction, moving toward the energy readings. As they got closer, their sensors found something amazing. A huge space station floated in the darkness, larger than anything humans had ever built. It was shaped like a giant ring with arms reaching out from the center. "My God," whispered Dr. Kim Soo-jin as she entered the bridge. "It's enormous." The station was dark and cold. No light showed in its windows. No energy came from its engines. It looked like it had been empty for many years. "Any signs of life?" Minho asked. Haeon checked her readings. "Nothing, Captain. But the energy source is definitely coming from inside." Security Chief Yuen Daeho stepped forward. "Sir, we should be very careful. The Vorthok were dangerous. Even their empty buildings might have traps." Minho nodded. Daeho was right to be worried. The Vorthok had built weapons that could destroy entire planets. Their soldiers were 3 times stronger than humans and could heal from almost any wound. Even after 50 years, their technology was still beyond human understanding. "We'll take a small team," Minho decided. Ji-ho Kim and 2 security officers. "The rest of you stay on the ship and keep sensors on us at all times." They put on their space suits and took a shuttle to the station. The docking bay was huge and empty. There, footsteps echoed in the silence as they walked through the dark halls. The station's design was strange. Everything was built for beings much taller than humans. The doors were twice as high as they needed to be. The halls were wide enough for small vehicles to drive through.
Look at these walls,"
Dr. Kim said, shining her light on the metal surfaces. "The metal is perfectly smooth after all these years. No rust, no damage. Vorthok technology was incredible." They followed the energy readings deeper into the station. The walls were covered with symbols that looked like scratches made by giant claws. Some showed pictures of battles between starships. Others showed Vorthok warriors standing over defeated enemies. "This place gives me the creeps," Ji-ho muttered. They reached a large room filled with broken equipment. Computer screens lay shattered on the floor. Tables had been turned over. Papers were scattered everywhere. "Something happened here," Daeho said. "Looks like they left in a hurry." The energy readings led them to a smaller room behind the main laboratory. When they opened the door, they found something that made them all stop and stare. In the center of the room stood a glass container as tall as a person. Inside the container was a small creature, no bigger than a human child. It had scales that changed color from green to blue in the light. Its eyes were large and golden, like drops of honey. The creature was awake and looking at them through the glass. It pressed its small hands against the container and made soft crying sounds. "It's alive," Dr. Kim whispered. "After all these years, it's still alive." The creature's eyes were filled with fear. It backed away from the glass when the humans came. Closer, its body was thin and weak, like it hadn't eaten properly in a long time. "What is it?" Ji-ho asked. Dr. Kim studied the creature carefully. Look at the bone structure, the scale patterns. This is definitely Vorthok, but it's just a baby. A baby Vorthok. Daeho's voice was sharp with worry. Captain, we need to be very careful. Even young Vorthok are dangerous. But Minho wasn't listening to the warnings. He was watching the creature's face. It wasn't showing anger or threat. It was showing fear and sadness. The little being looked lonely and scared. How long has it been in there? He asked. Dr. Kim checked. The container systems. The life support is still working, but barely. The food system stopped working years ago. I don't know how it's still alive. The creature made more crying sounds. It reached toward them with its small hands, like it was asking for help. It's starving, Dr. Kim said, and probably sick. Captain, we have to do something. Daeho shook his head. Sir, this goes against all regulations. We don't know what that thing is capable of. It's a child, Minho said firmly. Look at it. It's frightened and hungry. You can't just leave it here to die. The creature's golden eyes met Minho's through the glass. In that moment, he saw something that surprised him. The creature wasn't just afraid. It was hoping that these strange new beings would help it. We're taking it back to the ship, Minho decided. Dr. Kim, can you open the container safely? I think so. The systems are simple enough. Well, Captain, Daeho tried again. If this thing is dangerous, then we'll deal with it, Minho said. But right now, it's just a scared child who needs help. And that's exactly what we're going to give it. Dr. Kim worked on the container's controls. After a few minutes, the glass door opened with a soft hiss. The creature stepped out slowly, its legs shaking from weakness. It looked up at the humans with wonder in its golden eyes. Then it fell to its knees, too weak to stand. Without thinking, Minho knelt down and gently lifted the small creature in. His arms, it was lighter than he expected, and its scales felt warm against his gloves. The creature looked at him with trust in its eyes. Minho knew he had made the right choice. Whatever this little being was, it was no longer alone. The medical bay of the Handbox Pride had never seen anything like this before. Dr. Kim. Sujin worked carefully around the small creature lying on the examination table. She had given it a mild sedative to help it rest, but its golden eyes still watched everything she did. Vital signs are stable, she reported to Captain Minho, but it's severely malnourished. I estimate it hasn't had proper food in at least 6 months. The creature was so thin that its ribs showed through its scales. Its arms and legs were like small sticks. But despite its weakness, there was something strong in its eyes, something that refused to give up. What about its species? Minho asked. Are you sure it's Vorthok? Dr. Kim nodded. The bone structure matches everything we know about them. But this is clearly a juvenile. It's probably no more than 5 or 6 years old in human terms. Communications Officer Choi Hyun entered the medical bay. Captain, I've been trying to establish communication. The creature doesn't respond to any known languages, but I'm detecting something unusual. What kind of unusual? Brain activity patterns that suggest telepathic ability. It's very weak, but definitely there. Dr. Kim looked surprised. Telepathy. It wasn't in any of our records about the Vorthok. Maybe they kept it secret, Haeon suggested. Or maybe only certain Vorthok had the ability. The creature stirred on the table and opened its eyes fully. It looked at each of the humans in turn, then made a soft sound that almost sounded like a question. It's trying to communicate, Dr. Kim said softly. Hyun pulled out her portable communication device. I'm going to try something. The telepathic patterns show it responds to emotions more than words. She closed her eyes and concentrated. The room became very quiet. After a moment, Hyun's eyes opened wide. I felt something, she said. Fear, confusion, but also ... hope. The creature sat up slowly on the table, its golden eyes focused on Haeon. With great interest. Try again, Minho said. Haeon closed her eyes once more. This time she tried to project feelings of safety and friendship. The creature's reaction was immediate, tilted its head to one side, and made a soft purring sound. It's working, Dr. Kim whispered. Look at its body language. It's relaxing. Security. Chief Yoon Dae-ho entered the medical bay at that moment. Captain, we need to talk about security protocols. This creature could be dangerous. The moment Deho spoke, the creature's whole body changed. It pressed itself against the far wall of the medical bay, its scales darkening to a deep black color. It made frightened sounds and tried to hide behind Dr. Kim. Your fear is scaring it, Heian said to Deho. It can sense your emotions. That's exactly why we need to be careful, Deho replied. A telepathic Vorthok could read our minds and learn about our defenses. Dr. Kim put her hand gently on the creature's arm. It's not trying to invade our thoughts. It's just as scared. A child who can feel what we're feeling. The creature looked up at Dr. Kim with trust in its eyes. It made a soft sound and pointed to itself. I think it's trying to tell us its name, Hyun said. She concentrated again, trying to understand the creature's thoughts. Images flashed through her mind. A laboratory. Vorthok adults in white coats. The creature being given tests and experiments. Pain and loneliness. Oh no, Hyun whispered. The things they did to it. The creature showed her more images. Scientists. Taking samples of its blood, forcing it to use its telepathic abilities until it was exhausted. Long periods alone in the dark container. It wasn't just being held prisoner, Heian said with tears in her eyes. It was being used for experiments. The creature seemed to understand that the humans were learning about its past. It more sounds and projected more images. Oh, this time, Hyun saw something that made her gasp. Captain, she said slowly, this creature isn't just any it's something special. What do you mean? The images show Vorthok warriors, big, powerful fighters. But they're treating this little one with great respect, almost like it's royalty. The creature projected one more image. It showed itself as an adult, much larger and stronger than the current scientists around it. Scales were bright silver instead of the green and blue they saw now. It's going to grow, Dr. Kim said. A lot. Engineer Park Ji-ho had been quiet during the conversation, but now he spoke up. Captain, I've been analyzing the data from the space station. That facility wasn't just a research base. It was a breeding program. Everyone looked at him. We're trying to create something new, Ji-ho continued. Soldiers that were stronger and smarter than regular Vorthok. This little one might be the result of that program. The creature seemed to understand they were talking about it. It made a sad sound and curled up into a small ball. It knows it's different, Hyun said. It knows it was created as a weapon. Dr. Kim sat down next to the creature. Need to give it a name. It understands that we're trying to help. She thought for a moment. How about Nuri? It means world in Korean, because it might be the only one of its kind in the world. The creature looked up when it heard the name. It pointed to itself and made a questioning sound. Nuri, Dr. Kim repeated, pointing to the creature. The creature smiled for the first time since they found it. It pointed to itself and tried to say the name. New... Ri. That's right, Dr. Kim said with a smile. You're Nuri. Captain Minho watched the interaction with mixed feelings. On one hand, he was happy to see the creature responding to kindness. On the other hand, he was worried about what they had gotten themselves into. Dr. Kim, he said, I want you to run every test you can. We need to know exactly what Nuri is capable of. And if the tests show it's dangerous, Deho asked. Minho looked at Nuri, who was now trying to communicate with Dr. Kim through simple gestures. The creature looked so innocent and trusting. We'll deal with that when it happens, he said. But for now, Nuri is under our protection. Over the next few days, Nuri grew stronger. Dr. Kim gave it proper food and medicine. The creature learned to walk around the ship with help. It was curious about everything and everyone. The crew had mixed reactions to their new passenger. Some, like Dr. Kim and Heian, treated Nuri like a beloved pet. Others, like Deho, watched it carefully for signs of danger. But Nuri seemed to only want friendship. It followed Dr. Kim everywhere and tried to help with simple tasks. It learned to understand basic human words and could project simple emotions to communicate. One evening, as Nuri sat in the medical bay drawing pictures with colored pencils, Heian made a discovery that changed everything. Captain, she called over the ship's communication system. You need to see this. Minho arrived to find Nuri had drawn a picture of the Handbox Pride, but it wasn't just any picture. It showed the ship's internal structure with perfect accuracy. How could it know this? Minho asked. It's been exploring the ship telepathically, Hyun explained. Not reading our minds, but reading the ship itself. Captain Nuri can interface. With technology, they all stared at the small creature, who looked up at them with innocent golden eyes. What else can you do, little one? Dr. Kim whispered. NUR, I just smiled and continued drawing. 3 weeks had passed since they found Nuri on the Vorthok station. The small creature had grown stronger and more confident. It now walked freely around the ship, helping crew members with small tasks and learning new words every day. Dr. Kim. Sujin watched Nuri fix a broken datapad with amazing skill. The creature's small fingers moved over the electronic parts like it understood exactly how they worked. Nuri fixed, the creature said proudly, holding up the working device. Very good, Dr. Kim smiled. You're getting better at everything. Was true. Nuri learned faster than any child Dr. Kim had ever seen. It could solve complex puzzles in minutes. It understood ship systems that took human engineers years to master. But most importantly, it showed kindness to everyone it met. Young Ensign Han Soman had become especially close to Nuri. At 19, she was the youngest crew member, and Nuri seemed to sense that they were both young beings finding their place. In the world, Nuri want to see the stars? Salman asked, entering the medical bay. Nuri's golden eyes lit up. Yes, stars pretty. They walked together to the observation deck. Through the large windows, they could see the endless space filled with distant suns. My home star, Nuri said softly, pointing to a direction in space. Gone now. Sorry. Salman said, putting her hand gently on Nuri's shoulder. But you have a new home now. With us. Nuri looked at her with such trust and gratitude that Salman felt tears in her eyes. How could anyone think this gentle creature was dangerous? On the bridge, Captain Lee Minho was reading reports from Earth. The government wanted to know about their mission, but he had not told them about Nuri yet. He knew they would order him to turn the creature over to scientists, or worse. Captain called. Communications Officer Choi Hyun. We're getting a distress signal. Minho looked at the main screen. What kind of signal? It's from a cargo ship. They're under attack by pirates about 2 hours away. Security Chief Yuen Daeho stepped forward. Sir, we should respond. That ship is carrying medical supplies to the colony on Kepler Station. Set course to intercept, Minho ordered, and prepare for possible combat. The Handbox Pride changed direction and increased speed. Within an hour, they could see the cargo ship on their sensors. 3 pirate vessels surrounded it, trying to force it to surrender. The cargo ship's shields are failing, Engineer Park Ji-ho reported. It won't last much longer. All hands to battle stations, Minho announced over the ship's communication system. Prepare for engagement. Down in the medical bay, Dr. Kim heard the announcement. She looked around for Nuri and found the creature standing very still, its scales shifting to a dark red color. Nuri, what's wrong? Danger, Nuri said. Bad people hurt good people. Yes, but we're going to help them. You need to stay here where it's safe. But Nuri was already moving toward the door. Nuri helped too. No, Dr. Kim said firmly. Too dangerous for you. The ship shook as the pirates fired on them. The battle had begun. Captain Minho sat in his command chair, watching the tactical display. The pirates had older ships, but they outnumbered the Handbox Pride 3-1. Turn fire, he ordered. Target their weapon systems. The ship's guns fired back at the pirates. One of the pirate ships was faster than the others. It moved around behind the Handbox. Pride and fired on their rear shields. Shields down to 60%, Ji-ho reported. Sir, Daeho said, one of the pirate ships is preparing to dock with us. They're going to try to board. Minho felt his stomach drop. If the pirates got inside the ship, they would find Nuri. He couldn't let that happen. All security teams, too. The docking bay, he ordered. Prepare to repel boarders. The pirate ship attached itself to the Handbox Pride with a loud clang. Within minutes, the pirates had cut through the airlock and were inside the ship. Daeho and his security team were waiting for them. But the pirates had better weapons and more experience fighting. Soon, the security team was forced to retreat. Deeper into the ship, they're heading for the main corridor, Daeho reported over his communicator. We can't stop them all. In the medical bay, Dr. Kim heard the sounds of fighting getting closer. She tried to keep Nuri calm, but the creature was becoming more agitated. Bad people coming, Nuri said. They hurt friends. The security team. We'll stop them, Dr. Kim said, but she wasn't sure she believed it. The door to the medical bay suddenly burst open. 3 pirates rushed in, carrying energy weapons. They looked around the room and saw Dr. Kim and Nuri. Well, the lead, pirate said. What do we have here? A doctor and her pet? Please, Dr. Kim said, we're not armed. We're just medical personnel. The pirate laughed. Medical personnel on a military ship? I don't think so. You're coming with us. He reached for Dr. Kim, but something unexpected happened. Nuri stepped between them. No hurt, friend, Nuri said firmly. The pirate looked down at the small creature and laughed. Get out of the way, little monster, or I'll hurt you too. That was when everything changed. Nuri's scales shifted from their normal green and blue to bright silver. The creature's eyes began to glow with golden light. When it spoke, its voice was different, older and more powerful. You will not hurt my friends. The lead pirate raised his weapon to fire at Nuri, but the creature moved faster than human eyes could follow. In one fluid motion, Nuri grabbed the pirate's weapon and crushed it in its small hands. The other 2 pirates tried to shoot, but Nuri was already moving. It jumped over their heads and landed behind them. With precise movements, it hit specific pressure points on their necks, and both pirates collapsed unconscious. The lead pirate pulled out a knife and lunged at Nuri. The creature caught his wrist and squeezed gently. The pirate dropped the knife with a cry of pain. Sleep now, Nuri said softly. The pirate's eyes rolled back, and he fell to the floor, unconscious but unharmed. Dr. Kim stared at Nuri in amazement. The creature had moved like a trained warrior, but it had been careful not to seriously hurt anyone. Nuri, she whispered. The creature's scales returned to their normal colors. Its eyes stopped glowing. It looked at Dr. Kim with concern. Friends. Safe now? Yes, Dr. Kim said slowly. Friends are safe. Over the ship's communication system, they heard Captain Minho's voice. All pirates have been subdued. The boarding party has been neutralized. Dr. Kim realized that Nuri had taken care of the pirates throughout the ship, not just the ones in the medical bay. It had moved through the corridors faster than anyone could track, disabling the intruders without killing them. When the immediate danger was over, senior crew gathered in the medical bay. They stared at Nuri, who was sitting quietly beside. Dr. Kim, it protected us, Ensign Soman said with wonder. Even though it could have been hurt? Those combat moves, Daeho said slowly. I've never seen anything like it. It was like watching a master warrior in action. Captain Minho knelt down beside Nuri. You saved our lives. Thank you. Nuri looked sad. Nuri scare friends now. Minho said firmly, you saved your friends. That's what friends do for each other. Engineer Jiho was checking the ship's systems. Captain, I'm seeing something strange. During the fight, our shields were strengthened beyond normal capacity. Our weapon systems were enhanced. It's like someone boosted our entire ship. Everyone looked at Nuri, who was trying to hide behind Dr. Kim. You helped our ship too, didn't you? Dr. Kim asked gently. Nuri nodded slowly. Ship is friend. Nuri, help friend. Communications Officer Hayan was monitoring the creature's telepathic patterns. Captain, I'm detecting something incredible. Nuri didn't just interface with our ship. It created a connection with all our systems at once. What does that mean? Minho asked. It means Nuri has abilities we never imagined, Han replied. Can enhance any technology it touches. Can predict movements in combat. It can disable enemies without harming them. Dr. Kim looked at Nuri with new understanding. You're not just a child, are you? You're something much more special. Nuri looked up at her with those trusting golden eyes. Nuri just want to help friends. Nuri not want to be scary. You're not scary, Salman said, sitting down beside the creature. You're amazing. As the crew celebrated their victory and their amazing discovery, Captain Minho felt a growing worry. If Nuri was this powerful as a child, what would happen when it grew up? And more importantly, what would happen when the rest of the galaxy learned about it? For now, though, they had learned the most important thing about Nuri, despite its incredible abilities. Despite its warrior heritage, it had chosen to be a protector rather than a destroyer. That choice would soon be tested in ways none of them could imagine. 2 days after the pirate attack, Captain Lee Minho received a message that made his blood run cold. The transmission came directly from the Galactic Council headquarters on Centauri Prime. Captain Lee, the voice belonged to Council Speaker Vexthera, a tall alien with blue skin and 4 arms. We have received reports about your mission. You are ordered to return to the nearest Council station immediately. Minho knew this was about Nuri. Someone had talked. He looked around the bridge at his crew, wondering who might have sent word to the Council. Sir, Communications Officer Choi Hen whispered, I'm detecting multiple ships approaching our position. They're not human vessels. The main screen showed 5 large warships moving toward them. Each ship was 3 times the size of the Handbox Pride. Their hulls were covered in weapons. Council Enforcement Fleet, Engineer Park Jiho said grimly, they're not here to talk. In the medical bay, Dr. Kim Soo-jin was teaching Nuri how to read human writing when the ship's alarm began to sound. The creature's scales immediately shifted to a worried gray color. Danger coming, Nuri said softly. Many ships, many angry people. How do you know that? Dr. Kim asked. Nuri feel their thoughts. They scared of Nuri. They want to hurt Nuri. Ensign Han Soman entered the medical bay, her face pale with worry. Dr. Kim, the captain wants to see you and Nuri on the bridge right away. When they reached the bridge, they found the senior crew gathered around the main screen. The 5 Council ships were now surrounding the Handbox Pride. Nuri, Captain Minho said gently, can you tell us what those people are thinking? Nuri closed its golden eyes and concentrated. After a moment, it opened them again, looking very sad. They think Nuri's monster. They think Nuri will grow up and hurt everyone. They want to make Nuri go away forever. What do you mean go away forever? Dr. Kim asked. They want to kill Nuri, the creature said simply. They think his only way to be safe. The main screen activated, showing the face of Council Speaker Vexthera. Captain Lee, you are harboring a dangerous creature. Our records show it is a Vorthok breeding experiment. Such beings cannot be allowed to exist. This creature is just a child, Minho replied. It has done nothing wrong. The Vorthok destroyed entire star systems, Vexthera said coldly. Their genetic experiments were designed to create super soldiers. That creature will become a weapon of mass destruction when it matures. You're wrong, Ensign, Salmon spoke up. Nuri saved our lives. It protected us from pirates. Silence. Commanded. You have 30 minutes to surrender the creature, or we will take it by force. The transmission ended, leaving the bridge in tense silence. Captain, Security Chief Yuan Deho said, we can't fight 5 council ships. We need to consider our options. There's only one option, Minho said firmly. We protect Nuri. Sir, Jiho said, I'm getting a message from Earth Command. They're ordering us to cooperate with the council. Minho felt his heart sink. Even his own government was abandoning them. Captain Han said, I'm detecting more ships approaching. These ones are different. The sensor screen showed 3 new vessels. They were sleek and fast, with hulls that seemed to absorb light. Kelhari warships, Deho said with recognition. The council called in the Kelhari. Everyone on the bridge knew about the Kelhari. They were an ancient race that had fought the Vorthok for thousands of years. They hated everything connected to the Vorthok Empire. Why are they here? Salmon asked. Because they want to make sure Nuri dies, Nuri said quietly. They lose many people to Vorthok. They never forgive. Ambassador Shin Wujin, who had been quiet until now, stepped forward. Captain, I request permission to speak to the council on Nuri's behalf. What can you say that will change their minds? Minho asked. I can tell them the truth, Wujin replied. That this creature chooses to be good, regardless of its heritage. The communication screen activated again. This time it showed not just Vexthera, but also a Kelhari commander with silver skin and angry red eyes. "I am Commander Zelthek of the Kelhari fleet," the alien said. "We have come to ensure that this abomination is destroyed. This creature is under human protection," Ambassador Wujin said. "We request a formal hearing before the full council." "There'll be no hearing," Zolthek replied. "The spawn of the Vorthak must die. We will not allow another generation of those monsters to exist." "But it's just a child," Dr. Kim said. "It's never hurt anyone." And the Vorthak said the same thing about their young. Zolthek snarled. "Before they grew up and slaughtered billions of innocent beings." Nuri stepped forward, looking directly at the screen. Nuri not want to hurt anyone, or he just want to help friends. The Kelhari commander's expression softened slightly when he heard the creature's voice, but then his anger returned. "Speak our language," he said. "How do you know Kelhari words?" "Nuri learned from your thoughts," the creature replied. "Very sad. You lose family to Vorthok." "Nuri, sorry for your pain." Zolthak's eyes widened. "You dare to read my mind?" "Nuri, not try to read mind." "Nuri, just feel your hurt. You miss your children." The screen went dark as the Kelhari commander cut the transmission. "That was either very brave or very foolish," Deho said. "Both," Minho replied. "Heian, are they preparing to attack?" "All ships are powering up weapons," she reported. "But they're not firing yet. They're waiting to see what we do," Jiho said. Minho made a decision that would change everything. "Set course for the Terran system. Maximum speed." "Sir, that's directly toward Earth," Deho said. "We'll be leading them straight to human space." "That's exactly what I'm doing," Minho said. "If they want Nuri, they'll have to go through Earth's defenses to get it." Captain Wujin said, "Earth Command has already ordered us to surrender the creature. They won't protect us." "Then we'll have to change their minds," Minho replied. "Nuri, can you connect with our ship's systems like you did during the pirate attack?" Nuri nodded. "Nuri can make ship faster and stronger." "Do it," Minho ordered. "We're going home." Nuri placed its small hands on the nearest control panel. Immediately, the ship's systems began to hum with new energy. The engines roared to life with power far beyond their normal capacity. The Handbox Pride shot forward through space. It's moving faster than any human ship had ever moved before. The Council ships tried to follow, but they couldn't match the enhanced speed. "Incredible," Jiho breathed. "We're moving at nearly light speed without using our jump drive." "How is that possible?" Deho asked. "Nuri not just connect with ship," the creature explained. "Nuri understand how space works. Nuri makes space smaller for ship." Dr. Kim stared at Nuri in amazement. "You're manipulating space-time itself, Nuri?" "Just help friends get home safe," the creature said simply. As they raced toward Earth, Minho knew they were heading into an even greater danger. The Council ships were following them, and soon the battle would reach human space. But at least now, he understood something important about Nuri. The creature wasn't just powerful in combat. It could manipulate the very fabric of reality itself. The question was, would that be enough to save them all? Behind them, the Council fleet struggled to keep up, but they were determined to follow the humans all the way to Earth if necessary. The hunt was far from over. The Handbox Pride arrived at Earth 3 days ahead of the Council fleet. Captain Lee Minho had hoped for more time, but Nuri's space manipulation abilities had limits. The creature was exhausted from maintaining their incredible speed. "Earth Command is ordering us to dock at Luna Station," Communications Officer Choi Hen reported. "They want to take custody of the creature immediately." "No," Minho said firmly. "We're going directly to Earth. I want to speak to President Kang." Maran herself. In the medical bay, Dr. Kim Soo-jin was taking care of Nuri. The creature had been sleeping for 12 hours, straight after using so much energy to help their escape. "How are you feeling?" Dr. Kim asked when Nuri finally woke up. "Tired," Nuri said softly, "but friends are safe." "That good, young ensign?" Han Soman sat beside the bed. "Nuri, we're going to Earth. You'll get to see where humans come from." Nuri's golden eyes lit up with interest. "Earth is human nest." "Something like that," Soman smiled. "It's where all humans are born. It's our home world." Will humans on Earth like Nuri? The creature asked. Salman and Dr. Kim exchanged worried looks. They didn't know how to answer that question. On the bridge, Ambassador Shin Wujin was trying to contact Earth's government. President Kong is refusing to speak with us directly. She says we must follow proper channels, and we'll force her to listen, Minho said. Open a public broadcast channel, sir. Hyun looked confused. I want every human on Earth to see this, Minho explained. Patch us through to the global news networks. Within minutes, the face of Captain Lee Minho appeared on screens across Earth. Billions of humans stopped what they were doing to watch. Citizens of Earth, Minho began. My name is Captain Lee Minho of the exploration vessel Handbox Pride. We have discovered something that will change how we see the universe. He gestured for Dr. Kim to bring Nuri to the bridge. The creature looked nervous, but allowed itself to be led in front of the camera. This is Nuri, Minho said. 3 weeks ago, we found it abandoned on a Vorthok research station. It was starving and alone. We brought it aboard our ship and gave it food and care. Nuri waved shyly at the camera. Hello, human friends! The reaction on Earth was immediate. Children watching the broadcast waved back at their screens. Parents pointed out how small and innocent the creature looked. The Galactic Council wants to kill Nuri. Minho continued. They believe it's dangerous because of its genetic heritage. But I want you to see what we've seen. He showed recordings of Nuri helping crew members, learning to read, and playing simple games with Ensign Salman. Then he showed the security footage from the pirate attack. When our ship was attacked, Nuri could have hidden safely in the medical bay, Minho explained. Instead, it chose to protect us. It used its abilities not to harm, but to save lives. The footage showed Nuri moving through the ship, disabling the pirates without seriously injuring them. For the crew's safety, this is what the Council wants to destroy, Minho said. Not a monster, but a child who has learned to choose compassion over violence. The broadcast was interrupted by an emergency signal from Earth Command. President Kong Moran herself appeared on screen, her face stern with authority. Captain Lee, she said, you are in violation of direct orders. You will surrender the creature immediately, Madam President, Minho replied. I respectfully refuse. Then you are no longer an officer in the Earth's Defense Force, President Kong said. You are now a criminal harboring a dangerous alien. But something unexpected happened. Across Earth, humans began to protest. They had seen Nuri's innocent face and gentle nature. They had watched it risk its life to save others. Don't hurt. The child became the rallying cry that spread across social media. Children drew pictures of Nuri. Adults organized peaceful demonstrations. President Kong found herself facing something she had never expected, her own people turning against her to protect an alien creature. Madam President, Ambassador Wujin said, the people have spoken. They want to protect Nuri. People don't understand the danger, President Kang replied. This creature could become a weapon of mass destruction, or it could become Earth's greatest protector, Minho said. The choice is ours to make. At that moment, alarms began to sound throughout Earth's orbital defenses. The Council fleet had arrived. 8 Council ships entering Earth space, reported Admiral Park Chil-woo from Earth Defense Command. They're demanding we surrender the creature, and if we refuse, President Kang asked. They'll take it by force, Admiral Park replied. Can't fight the entire Galactic Council? On the bridge of the Handbox Pride, Nuri was watching the approaching ships on the main screen. Its scales had turned a deep purple color, which the crew had learned meant it was very worried. So many angry people, Nuri said sadly. They all scared of Nuri. We're not scared of you, Ensign, Soman said, putting her arm around the creature. We love you, love. Nuri looked confused. What is love? It's when you care about someone so much that you want to protect them, Dr. Kim explained. What you feel for us, and what we feel for you. Nuri's scales slowly changed to a warm golden color. Nuri loved friends too. The Council ships took positions around Earth, their weapons pointed at the planet's surface. It was clear they were prepared to use force. This is Council Speaker Vex Thera, came a transmission. You have 1 hour to surrender the creature, or we will consider Earth to be in rebellion against the Galactic Council. President Kong realized she was facing an impossible choice. If she gave up Nuri, she would be ordering the death of an innocent child. If she refused, she might be condemning Earth to war. Admiral Park, she said, prepare our defenses. We're going to protect that creature, Madam President. Admiral Park said, are you sure? We're outnumbered and outgunned? I've seen the footage, President Kang replied. That creature chose to save lives when it could have chosen to take them. That's the kind of being we should be protecting, not destroying. As Earth's defense fleet moved to intercept the Council ships, Nuri made a decision that surprised everyone. Not want friends to fight, the creature said. Nuri, go with Council ships, no one get hurt. Absolutely not, Minho said firmly. We're not giving up on you. But people will die, Nuri said, tears forming in its golden eyes. Nuri, not worth fighting for. Yes, you are, Salmon said, hugging the creature tightly. You're worth everything. The space around Earth filled with warships as both sides prepared for battle. But before the first shot could be fired, Nuri did something that no one expected. It placed its hands on the bridge controls and connected with every ship in the area, both human and alien. Wait, Nuri said, its voice somehow reaching every vessel. At once. Please wait. Nuri, want to talk? The creature's telepathic abilities reached out to every mind in the fleet. But instead of trying to control them, it simply shared its feelings. Everyone in the battle zone suddenly felt what Nuri felt, love for its human friends, sadness at being hunted, and a desperate desire for peace. Nuri not want to be weapon. The creature said to all of them, Nuri just want to help friends and learn about universe. Please not fight because of Nuri. For a moment, the space around Earth was completely silent. Then, one by one, the ships began to lower their weapons. Even the Council ships hesitated. They had expected to face a monster, not a child who was begging for peace. Fascinating, said Council Speaker Vexera. This creature is not what we expected, no, replied President Kang. It's so much more. The battle was over before it began, but the real test was just beginning. Now they had to decide what to do with Nuri, and whether the galaxy was ready to accept that sometimes the most feared appearances hide the gentlest hearts. The Great Hall of the Galactic Council had never seen anything like it. Representatives from hundreds of worlds sat in silence, watching a small creature with golden eyes and shimmering scales stand before them. Nuri was no longer the tiny, frightened being they had found on the Vorthok station. 6 months had passed, and the creature had grown taller and stronger, but its gentle nature remained unchanged. Honored council members, Nuri said, speaking in perfect galactic standard, I understand why you fear me. Creators, the Vorthok, caused great pain across the galaxy. Many of you lost friends and family to their wars. The creature's voice carried clearly through the hall. It had learned to speak dozens of languages, but it chose to use the one that all council members could understand. I cannot change what my people did, Nuri continued. I cannot bring back those who died, but I can choose what I do with my life. Commander Zulthek of the Kelhari fleet stood up. You speak of choice, but you are a weapon created by our enemies. How can we trust that you will not become what you were designed to be? Nuri looked directly at the Kelhari commander. Gus, I have learned something my creators never understood. I have learned about love. The creature turned a gesture at the human delegation. Captain Lee Min-ho, Dr. Kim Soo-jin, Insin Han Soman, and the others sat in the front row, watching with pride and worry. These humans found me dying and alone. They could have left me to die. They could have turned me over to scientists for study. Instead, they gave me food, medicine, and friendship. Nuri's scales shifted to a warm golden color. They taught me that strength is not about how much you can destroy, but about how much you can protect. They showed me that being different doesn't make you a monster. Council Speaker Vextera leaned forward. You claim to be peaceful, but our records show you have tremendous power. You can manipulate space-time, interface with any technology, and move faster than trained warriors. Such abilities make you dangerous. Yes, Nuri agreed. I am dangerous, but so is fire. Fire can burn down cities, or it can keep people warm. Fire can destroy, or it can light the way in darkness. The choice is in how you use it. Dr. Kim Soo-jin stood up. May I speak, honored counsel? You may, Vexthera replied. I have studied Nuri for 6 months, Dr. Kim said. I have seen its abilities grow as it matures. But I have also seen its character develop. Every choice it makes is guided by compassion and the desire to help others. She activated a holographic display showing Nuri's actions over the past months. When a transport ship had engine failure, Nuri interfaced with their systems and saved 300 lives. When a plague threatened the colony on Kepler 7, Nuri helped our medical team develop a cure in days instead of months. The display showed more examples. Nuri helping to rebuild after natural disasters, using its abilities to improve communication between different species and teaching young beings from various worlds how to work together. This is not the behavior of a weapon, Dr. Kim concluded. This is the behavior of a healer and a teacher. Representative Torvik of the Andromedans spoke next. But what happens when this creature reaches full maturity? Adult Vorthok were 3 times larger than it is now and infinitely more dangerous. I don't know, Nuri answered honestly. I don't know what I will become when I am fully grown. I know what I choose to be now, and I will keep choosing to be good. The creature paused, looking around the hall at the hundreds of different species represented. I want to make a promise to all of you. I promise to use my abilities only to help and protect. I promise to never start a war or harm innocent people. And I promise to submit to regular examinations by the Council to ensure I am keeping these promises. And if you break these promises, asked Representative Kathera of the Spiral Arm Federation, then you can stop me, Nuri said simply. I will not resist if I become a danger to others. The hall erupted in discussion. Some representatives were convinced by Nuri's words. Others remained skeptical. The debate continued for hours. Finally, President Kong Moran of Earth requested permission to speak. Honored Council, I have seen what happens when we judge beings by their appearance or heritage instead of their actions. My own planet has a history of such mistakes. She stood and walked to stand beside Nuri. This creature has proven itself over and over again. It has saved lives, brought peace, and shown wisdom beyond its years. If we destroy it because of what it might become, we are no better than the Vorthok who created it as a weapon. But if we are wrong, Commander Zelthek said the consequences could be catastrophic. If we are wrong about showing mercy, President Kong replied, then we have still chosen to be better than our fears. The final decision came to a vote. Each representative had to choose: give Nuri a chance to prove itself or order its destruction. The vote was close, but mercy won, by a margin of just 12 votes. The Galactic Council decided to grant Nuri asylum on Earth under strict supervision. As the session ended, Nuri walked over to Commander Zolthek. I know you voted against me. The creature said quietly, I understand why. But I want you to know that I will prove myself worthy of your trust. The Kalhari commander looked down at the young being. I lost my children to the Vorthok. Forgiveness does not come easily to me. I know, Nuri said. But maybe someday I can help you heal that pain. Zolthek was quiet for a long moment. Then he nodded slightly. Perhaps time will tell. 5 years later, Nuri had grown into a magnificent being. It stood taller than most humans, with scales that shifted through beautiful colors and eyes that held wisdom far beyond its years. It had become exactly what Dr. Kim had predicted: a healer and a teacher. The young Vorthok worked with the Galactic Council as a mediator, helping to resolve conflicts between different species. Its unique abilities allowed it to understand all sides of any dispute and find solutions that satisfied everyone. Most importantly, Nuri had kept its promise. It had never used its power to harm anyone. Despite having the ability to level entire cities, Captain Lee Minho, Admiral Lee, watched from his office on Earth as Nuri worked with a group of young beings from different worlds. The creature was teaching them about cooperation and understanding. You were right, said Dr. Kim, who had joined him to watch. It wasn't what it was created to be. It became what it chose to be. No, Minho said with a smile. It became what we all helped it to become. That's the real lesson here. Ensign Han Soman, now Captain Soman, entered the office. Nuri's asking for you both. It wants to show you something. They found Nuri in the garden outside the council building, surrounded by children from dozens of different species. The creature was telling them a story about a small, scared being who found a family among the stars. And what did the little creature learn, Nuri? Asked the children. That family isn't about what you look like, said a young human girl. It's about who loves you and who you love back. That's right, Nuri said, its scales glowing with happiness. And sometimes the most important thing you can do is choose to be kind, even when others are afraid of you. As the children ran off to play, Nuri turned to its old friends. Thank you, it said simply, for seeing me as I could be, not as I was created to be. Dr. Kim smiled. Thank you for proving that the greatest weapon against fear is love, Admiral. Minho nodded. And thank you for showing the galaxy that sometimes the most fearsome appearances hide the gentlest hearts. Nuri looked up at the stars, where ships from hundreds of worlds traveled peacefully through space. I think the galaxy is learning, it said. Slowly but surely, it's learning. The creature that had once been feared as a potential destroyer had become a symbol of hope and unity. It had chosen to be a bridge between worlds instead of a weapon of war, and in making that choice, Nuri had proven that humanity's greatest strength was not their technology or their courage, but their ability to see the potential for good in every being they encountered. The galaxy was indeed learning, and it was learning from the gentlest teacher of all, a creature that had chosen love over fear, mercy over vengeance, and hope over despair. The story of Nuri had become a legend told throughout the galaxy, reminding everyone that what makes someone a monster is not their appearance or their heritage, but their choices. And Nuri had chosen to be exactly what the galaxy needed, a reminder that even the most feared beings can become the most beloved, if they are given the chance to. Choose who they want to be,